Lung cancer is the second most common type of cancer, but the deadliest of them all. Today, the 5-year survival rates are only 16%. But if you detect it early enough, it dramatically jumps to 70, 80%. And this is exactly what our first product does. It allows automatic screening of lung cancer and detecting it at the earliest stages possible.
Welcome to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. I'm your host, LaMont Leavitt. In a world overflowing with noise, confusion, and distraction, we're here to cut through the clutter and explore bold, unique paths to a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. Through candid conversations with business leaders, wellness experts, industry pioneers, and innovators, we'll uncover insights to help you discover your own personalized, unique approach to thriving. Tune in, trust the compass of wisdom within, and find your fountain of vitality. Hello, and welcome to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. My name is LaMont Leavitt, and we are thrilled today to have with us Shay Cohen. He is the co-founder of Genesis Medical Vision Group, and I wanted to get a feel for all the things that you've been doing to deal with cancer. We talked last week, had a nice chat on a webinar last week, and I learned so much. And all of us have been touched by someone. We have a friend, a spouse, a child, a sibling, a parent that has been affected by cancer in some way. And so none of us are immune to that fatal disease that brings so many people down. So anything we can do to catch it earlier, improve our longevity in life is a noble and awesome cause. And the fact that we can maybe leverage AI now to do that, Shay, take it away. Tell us your story and how you've gone down this path and what you've learned so far.
Sure, with pleasure. First of all, thank you so much, Lamont. Pleasure and honor to be hosted in the podcast. Glad for this opportunity. We had a very interesting conversation last week, touching in all the AI in healthcare aspects, but here's a real chance to a deep dive into things and our unique story. So thank you. I'll quickly describe myself and the company, and we'll go on to develop the conversation. My name is Shay Cohen. I am 42 years old, born and raised and still live in Tel Aviv, Israel. Father to 3.
Awesome.
And thank you. 3 amazing little children. And I am the CEO and co-founder of the company. My 2 main co-founders are 2 professors, mathematics professors and radiologists. Each one is the leading in the country in his domain, the leading radiologist in the company, the head of the Radiologist Council in the Ministry of Health here, alongside 2 additional professors, the leading oncologist and the leading nuclear medicine expert in the country. How we came about to form the company. So that's an interesting story. Me personally, I do not come from a medical or scientific background. I come from a business background. And prior to the inception of Genesis, I served as the CEO of a different medical device startup company, which was a venture that I took from a startups incubator, a micro VC that I used to work for, and really matured it from the incubator, from a raw idea stage, a mad professor, all throughout all the difficult stages of development, regulation, patent registration, go to market, all the way to global sales. I still serve as a director at that company,
Great.
But I really brought it to the stage where I wanted, and it allowed me to carry on to the next challenge. And now in a parallel life, the 2 professors are working, even taking 5, 6 years back. First of all, who we are and how we got to this point. So Genesis Medical is an early detection of cancer AI platform, where the entire company is based on very deep and unique technology that solves the main problems which are hampering the adoption of AI into medical imaging in general, but specifically into the early detection of cancer, which is up until today, as we see it, despite the clear need. I don't need to explain that cancer is a big problem
Right.
or the radiologist bottleneck, etc. There's a clear need for for incorporating AI into the clinical workflow. And still today, despite the clear need, most of the CT and MRI interpretations are conducted manually. Slow, expensive, full of interpretations error, misdiagnosis, subjectivity, nonetheless. As we understand it, the main reason for this is a technological reason. Inherent limitations in traditional AI that our unique technology solves. Now, maybe we'll go about later on in the podcast diving into it, but my May co-founder, Professor Ilya Kusno, the mathematician, he has been developing this very deep technology even more than 20 years back. And not only in development, it's also in use here in some of the most sensitive places across the country, either under a scientific cooperation agreement with the Technion, which is like the equivalent of MIT in the US, the leading technology university. They've published articles in the leading medical scientific journals, and mostly in defensive applications, exactly in the very sensitive places that traditional machine learning and deep learning cannot enter in principle. Either that the price of a second-degree error, a false positive, is very high, or places where data is insufficient for developing proper deep learning models. And these are exactly the places that the technology was able to get implemented and doing amazing, amazing work and value. Now, in parallel, the two professors, started developing our first POC, the lung cancer detection system, brought it to a POC stage, done a very successful POC, showed tremendous results, and then they both understood they need someone like me to take it forward and make it a company.
Right.
And then some very important and interesting person introduced us three, and we founded the company. And
Oh, that's great. So you're tell me a little bit about the proof of concepts and successes there. Love to hear some of those. And then, of course, there's the next stage of, okay, now we need to take it to market. Love to hear some of that anecdotal proof of concept data and information. And also share with us why you picked lung cancer as a starting point versus all the different cancers that are out there.
Okay, so several very important
Yeah.
questions. First of all, why lung cancer? Yeah. So correct. In our vision, we're building a full pan-cancer platform. We want to touch all cancer types. In our vision, the patient should go through a full-body PET CT scan, and the system will recognize all 15 abnormalities at the earliest stages possible.
Awesome.
Still, a startup company, a very high level of focus. The first product is for lung cancer, allowing automatic screening of lung cancer. Lung cancer, I can, to your question, I'll answer in two layers, business and emotional. Okay? So first of all, business. Lung cancer is the second most common type of cancer, but the deadliest of them all, mainly due to late detection. Most of the people, you smoke, you cough, you don't get to check yourself, and by the time you do, it's usually too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, today the 5-year survival rates are only 16%. But if you detect it early enough, it dramatically jumps to 70, 80%. There are newly developed drugs, biological drugs that enable you to send the patient home to home community treatment, spare all the unnecessary chemotherapy procedures, etc., and make it a chronic disease if you detect it early enough. And this is exactly what our first product does. It allows automatic screening of lung cancer and detecting it at the earliest stages possible. At the size, we're not detecting cancer, we're detecting a lung nodule. Objects just several millimeters the size with the potential to develop into cancer in a few years.
Wow.
And then we're really saving lives, not less than that.
Yeah, I can't even imagine having lung cancer at an early age and be able to actually avoid chemo. Uh, is what a whole new way of thinking, where that was your only shot, and had less than a 16% chance over 5 years, like you said. So anyway, tell us a little bit more about the detection and some of the anecdote stories that you've experienced with those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so okay, so in terms of the POC,
yeah,
we are far beyond anecdotal POCs. Okay, we the POC that I spoke about was what both of them done before I joined the story and before the inception of the
uh-huh,
company. And over there, they've done a very large POC on more than 2,000 CT scans
nice,
and already reached very, very good results. They've reached 93% sensitivity, which is very good, and between 0.4 to 1 false positive per case. Okay. That allowed the inception of the company in our first fundraising round.
awesome,
Then, after we founded the company, we went into a design partnership agreement with the largest medical imaging provider here in the country. Here, there are 60% of the market. And as a first step, we've conducted a clinical trial with them. Clinical trial, which was performed on the Ministry of Health lung cancer screening program. We finalized this study with remarkable results. We've reached their 97% sensitivity, and much important than that, a mere 0.2 false positive per case on the other side.
awesome.
These are results that are 10 to 15 times better than any other existing system in the world today. And now they allow us to progress to strategic projects both in the US and in Europe. In the US, we're now I'll tell about Europe before the
Yeah,
US. In Europe, we have partnered with the leading global organization in lung cancer early detection, and we're doing a huge project with them, spanning across 11 European countries,
great.
7 Western European countries, and all of 4 UK countries, and generating the exact needed data to allow real implementation of the technology, the clinical and economical data to allow that. Still, that's only Europe. The strategic market is the US. And in the US, we're doing 3 very important directions. One, we are in the middle of a clinical trial with Mass General in Boston, one of the leading hospitals, healthcare networks in the country, and with a professor which is spot on for us. Second, we are building a very large project with a company called Reus Radiology, which is one of the second or third largest radiology company in the US, with physical presence in 26 states and a network of 200 imaging centers, 1,000 radiologists. And third, we are building, together with our European partners, a designated screening programs for the Veterans Association, which could be a very, very important use case.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, for sure. That's great. So, over in the U.S. market, I'm interested in that because that's where I'm based. But how would people learn more about what you're doing in the U.S. market, and if they want to be engaged, if maybe a radiologist or a group of radiologists, how would they learn more about your technology and reach out to you guys?
so anyone that will be interested, I'll be more than glad to simply have a direct conversation with them. Easy to reach either through our website, our LinkedIn, through you maybe,
Yeah, sure.
with an introduction. I'll be more than glad to have such a direct conversation with anyone who's interested and either could collaborate in any way or just in general interest.
All right, awesome. Um, what are your thoughts about with AI becoming how powerful it is? A lot of people are some people are worried about AI. Some people are anxious about it affecting their job, and then there's those that are excited about it and they want to figure out how they can leverage it to make them more efficient and have fewer false positives and get that detection down sooner. What kind of advice would you give to radiologists in general, and how to how to deal with this kind of technology that would change how they can improve how they do their job?
Sure. So, first of all, in general, I would say that history has proven us that you can't resist new technologies. You can like it, you can dislike it, but you can't resist it. When new technology comes, it has its advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons, risks. The aim of the world is to enjoy and leverage the value, the huge value and promise it can bring, and mitigate and regulate, because regulation has to come here, and regulate to avoid all these risks. Now, in terms of losing their jobs, you can look back at history and see that each time that there was a new technological revolution, that fear was
Who's there?
happened,
Yeah.
and still in developed countries, in the US and Israel, there's basically no real unemployment today.
Yeah.
Specifically going into the radiologist, I can really calm the radiologist. Okay, they won't be out of jobs. The radiologist bottleneck is and shortage is so severe now, and only aggravating, that they won't be left out of work. Today, the radiologists that we're speaking with and working with, they know, what they tell me is that they understand that they won't be replaced by AI, that the radiologists that haven't adopted AI will be replaced by the ones that did.
Right.
And that's correct. That is really correct. They have to use it as a tool that helps them do their job. And as far as we understand and speak in the company, both our regulatory and marketing language, we speak in decision support language. I'm
Right.
here to help you do your job. I'm here to make you a better doctor. You're a good doctor, you know what you see. I just have to take all the specific work out of you and allow you to focus on essence. Okay? If I allow you to perform a procedure that today takes you 10 to 15 minutes in a minute or two, I basically save time for you and generate money while I watch your back, making sure you don't miss anything and minimizing liability. I'm your co-pilot, helping you do your job. And that is our entire approach, how we speak and face radiologists and the healthcare systems. We're here to make them better.
Almost every person I've talked to that's been involved in healthcare, whether they're a doctor or nurse or even in the business side of things, their goal, the reason they got involved with healthcare in the first place, was to be able to help others. And if you can be in a position to help more people in the time frame you have through the improvement of technology, that's a net gain, and that's a positive for not just that individual, but for the whole industry and the world. So that's what I'm most excited
That's
about. And for every person that
that's
has,
that's definitely.
yeah, and for every person,
We didn't speak about the technology, but in one sentence, I'll say that what we do is not traditional AI. Our technology allows you to imitate and replicate the logic and intuition of the physician and translate it onto an algorithm.
yeah,
So, in a way, you can say that I am democratizing the patient treatment and diagnosis. I can
right,
allow each patient in any rural place that it'll be in the world to virtually meet the best professor in the world and bring huge value to millions of patients. Yeah, and that's our mission. You say people that are getting involved with healthcare, they are driven by this value. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I'll say that, you know, being an entrepreneur, being a CEO of a startup company, that's a very difficult life to choose. That's a very and to do so, you have to really devote yourself to the cause. So you want to find a good and big enough cause to devote yourself to,
that's worth your time.
and
Yeah,
it's worth your time. Yeah, exactly. And cancer detection, early detection of cancer, that's a holy grail. If we'll really reach it, yeah, that will generate tremendous value.
So after lung cancer, if that's your first one you're going to go after, what would you say your next couple you would do next after lung cancer?
Sure. So the next couple are the next three ones are prostate cancer, colon cancer, and breast cancer.
Prostate, colon, and
Prostate
breast. That
cancer,
makes sense.
yeah. Afterwards, ovarian, brain cancer, etc. Prostate cancer, we've already started the R&D of the second product in the platform. We're over there, the direction is slightly different. It's not only early detection. Prostate cancer is the most common type of cancer within men, but a very not deadly one.
Yeah.
Very not lethal one. The main damage from it is the damage to the quality of life caused by the unnecessary biopsies. And over there, we're building a model which, based on imaging only, allow you to dramatically spare the unnecessary biopsies.
Oh, nice.
Give you a level of assurance which will be higher than the actual biopsy.
What about the other cancer types you mentioned, with breast cancer, ovarian
Breast
cancer?
cancer,
Yeah.
colon cancer, super important. Again, the goal is mainly to do the detection as early as possible, to allow screening, and to allow the physicians to do it, to do proper segmentation, measuring, tracking of the findings, and to be able to better diagnose and better treat it, to suit the specific treatment to the specific patient and bring the best clinical outcomes possible.
So for the example of colon cancer, before a polyp even develops, you would be able to see the precursor to that.
Exactly.
Wow, that's awesome.
Exactly. Before it really develops into cancer, at the earliest stage possible, or it's 1, 2 today, also with the newly advanced imaging technologies, which are able to go into what's called now molecular imaging. Okay, really working in the cell level. And we're able to go into these resolutions, then we're able to go into sizes that 10, 20 years ago, it would be a dream to reach these sizes.
So even down to the cellular level, before it starts getting sick, and recognize that the cellular structure is actually changing or starting to change.
Exactly.
Wow.
Before the disease develops.
Wow. That is awesome, Shay. Thank you so much for your time today. It was great to learn about this new technology you're working on and how we can leverage AI to be healthier and live longer. And I'm looking forward to watching your ongoing growth and success over the years. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, LaMont.
You betcha.
Glad to be here.
Take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. Head to fountainofvitality.com for more episodes, insights, and resources. Remember, your health is yours to own. Take charge, focus on what you can control, and keep exploring what works for you. Always be your best self, lift others, and trust the compass of wisdom. Until next time, stay vibrant and take care.